Hi everybody, how are you tonight? Welcome, welcome to Story and Art. Yay, if you're new or if you're lurking back there, I'm Gretchen. And this is my 249th night of telling stories. Most of them are live. Few of them are premieres, pre-recorded when I'm off grid doing my other stuff, which is photography, but that's it. And I see Linda's here. Hi Linda, how are you? Good to have you here. Thank you. I think, yeah, you do. There might be a couple people else out there. I think somebody else is lurking, probably Lupe, out in the outside. I see a couple others, but that's great. It's good to have you guys here. And if you're catching this on replay, thank you for hearing and listening to the stories. Last night, we had a great time down at the beach with the other ladies of Taylor Bay, and you guys got to have Bob on the comments for my premiere. He was very pleased. And a little later on in the evening, the whales came by. I got some pictures, not real great pictures. My neighbor got some really good ones yesterday morning out on his kayak. The whales kind of came up behind his kayak. Whew! And he got some good shots, but so that's what's up. Yay, there, I see that. Gail's here. Hi Gail, I hope you are taking care down there in that heat. We're supposed to get in the 90s next week up here in the Northwest, so it'll be kind of toasty, but today it's still pretty beautiful. And yeah, just had kind of a relaxing day. So Larry and Angie are driving home. I think that they were out at the property. Would have been beautiful to be there, I'm sure. So anyway, so it was just a really fun time to be down there. And then last night to have the whales come by. I saw, I think, 2 or 3. I'll have to look closer at the photos to see on their fins which ones were which. But when my neighbor Mark Clark on Facebook yesterday morning, he went out on his kayak because he'd seen on the Orca Network that the boat was coming out. So he headed out in his kayak. Well, as he was heading toward the whale watching boat, what should start spouting behind him while he's in the kayak, but the whales. So he rapidly turned his kayak around and scrambled to get his camera out of its waterproof bag. He's a photographer also. And yeah, he got some beautiful pictures. And at one point he had all 6 that were up on top of the water. And it's pretty spectacular. I was very, very envious and pleased for him, so that was pretty cool. So I was young, we went whale watching with the school back when they still had field trips. Yes. Reindeer, I've been having some trouble internet buffering for a while. Internet's been crazy today around here too. I was just on a live that my friend India was doing in Philadelphia and her girlfriend Angie was having problems with her internet, and so that was things. But yeah, we had some that went out today. I don't know, who knows. So yes, love the whales, absolutely love the whales. The orcas have been quite active down here, so it's kind of nice. But anyway, I came up, I've read several books by this author, and this one is one that I had not read. And we talked last week, we were talking collage a lot in art. And we talked a bit about quilts and some things like that and how it came together. And so for this book, this is a book another book by Patricia Polacco. And what's pretty amazing about this book, this is, I'll read the preface that she wrote to you guys about it, but I think it's the preface. Let me just double check. Nope, it's at the end. Let me get to it and I'll read that to you to start with. But the artwork in this, it is all done like the part of the book. Most of it is done in like a sepia tone ink and sketch and pencil drawing and whatnot, but it's all in sepia tone, except the parts that become the quilt. And so as I read the book and you see the pictures, kind of take note of those colored parts and how they grow and what it happens. She says, "Dear ones," and so I'll just read Patricia's note for this. "For a quarter of a century now, this book has been part of my life as well as yours." So I know I've had this out for a long time, but this is longer. "It's been a heartfelt pleasure to chronicle the journey of this quilt from its creation to the turn of the century to the present day. It is gratifying that I have been able to witness personally the impact of this story on all of you. I'm honored that you have given this book to loved ones to punctuate their own family milestones and perhaps to inspire new traditions. Thank you all for being part of this treasured celebration of kindred family and profound memory. Patricia Polacco." And her books that I've read for you, let's see if I can pull that up right here. Let's see, Patricia Polacco books. And then I'll move it over so that it's out of my way. And take you to, where did it go? There it is. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I have read for you guys, oops, never mind, decline offer, thank you. I read Sticks and Stones. I have read, see all. My Rotten Red-Headed Older Brother, I think. And Because of Thursday? Maybe that. And there's more books that are by her that are not on this publisher's page. I know I read another book by her. Anyway, so today we have another book by Patricia Polacco, and this one, oops, is called The Keeping Quilt. It is one of, I tell you, it's a really, really beautiful book by hers, and it's most of her books are heartfelt ones with her stories of her family and all of those type of things. Her artwork is pretty, it is very stylized to her. You can always tell Patricia's her artwork, and it's just wonderful, and her storytelling is something else. So there's Angel. They just rolled in. Hey, and Helen's here too. Yay. Aloha at work right now. I'm glad to got to pop in. Oh, Helen, yay. I think you'll like this story. Aloha, Helen. And Angel's here. Crunchberry's Playhouse. And that means Green Rumor's not far behind. Larry's to unpack in the car, maybe. So let's get going and get on this story for you guys so you can get on with this beautiful evening. And oh, by the way, like I said, you guys, tonight is 249. So tomorrow night's 250. Woohoo! We will party celebrate. Anybody who has some artwork that wants to send in for me to showcase and show off tomorrow night, I'd love to do that. and send it with live art in your subject line, then I can find it to images by Gretchen at iCloud.com. Yes, so send it in and we'll pull it into the show for tomorrow night for 250. Woo. All right, here is the Keeping Quilt. For some reason, I'm hoping it's going to show the whole page. All right. Well, it's not quite showing the whole page. I've had my hang on. Oops, we lost something. That was untrue, unfortunate. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Hang on, just give me a second. Well, we'll just keep talking here. I'm going to put it in preview mode. Hang on to go up here. There. Oops, no. Back to live mode. And go to here. Okay, I'm going to, for some reason, these two wires are misrepresenting each other. One thinks one is the iPad and one thinks it's the phone when it's not. So I'm going to try to fix that so that maybe you can see the whole book. And overlay. Oh, no. Nope. Okay, back to the other way. So we're fixing this. I had it set and it was being okay, but then it decided to be Snookies. You've been talking all afternoon? What have you been talking about? Okay, why is that? There we go. Let's try this again one more time. Get a camera. Okay, and you guys, thank you for being patient with me. I've got just where's the okay, get rid of that one, get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Okay, now try it one more time here. And it's not showing the picture. Okay, we may go alternate plan B. So, and let's try this. Wow. Okay. Okay, then we're going to do something else, you guys. Here, while I'm talking away, I am going to put this over here so that it can show my book right here. And there it is. Okay. There we go. You guys, I'm sorry. I apologize. There we go. Okay. And we'll take a... There, okay. Okay. Well, well. So here we go. You're going to hear the story, and I'm going to have to do it in a little different way. Comes from my overhead camera, but that's what's going to happen. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know why. It's like my something overheated, I think. That's why we call it live. All right, here we go. We'll go to... there. Yeah, all right. Now let's see if I can get this so that you can actually see the book a little better. There. That's better. Huh, okay. And we'll start, oh, there. The Keeping Quilt. Here we go. Let's do this here, here, and zoom it in there. By Patricia Polacco. When my great-grandma Anna came to America, she wore the same thick overcoat and big boots she'd worn for farm work, but her family weren't dirt farmers anymore. In New York City, her father's work was hauling things on a wagon, and the rest of the family made artificial flowers all day. Everyone is in a hurry, and so it was crowded, not like back home Russia, but all the same, it was their home, and most of their neighbors were just like them. When Anna went to school, English sounded to her like pebbles dropping into shallow water. Shh, shh, shh. In 6 months, she was speaking English. Her parents almost never learned, so she spoke English for them too. The only thing she had left of the back home Russia were her dress and the babushka she liked to throw up in the air when she was dancing. And her dress was getting too small, and her mother had sewn her a new one. She took her old dress and babushka. Then from a basket of old clothes she took Uncle Vladimir's shirt, Aunt Havela's nightdress, and an apron from Aunt Natasha. "We will make a quilt to help us always remember home," Anna's mother said. "It will be like having the family in back home Russia dance around us at night." So there you see the colors come in. There. There you guys can see the whole thing. Let me move me up here. And so it was. Anna's mother invited all the neighborhood ladies. They cut out animals and flowers from the scraps of clothing Anna had kept the needles threaded and handed them to the ladies as they needed them. The border of the quilt was made of Anna's babushka. On Friday nights, Anna's mother would say the prayers that started the Sabbath, and the family ate hot challah and chicken soup. The quilt was the tablecloth. Anna grew up and fell in love with great-grandpa Sasha. To show he wanted to be her husband, he gave Anna a gold coin, a dried flower, and a piece of rock salt, all tied into a linen handkerchief. The gold was for wealth, the flower for love, and the salt so their love and lives would have flavor. She accepted the hanky, and they were engaged. Under the wedding huppah, Anna and Sasha promised to love each other and promised each other love and understanding. After the wedding, the men and women celebrated separately. When my grandma Carly was born, Anna wrapped her daughter in a quilt to welcome her warmly into the world. Carly was given a gift of gold, flour, salt, and bread. Gold so she could never know poverty, a flower so she would always know love, salt so her life would always have flavor, and bread so she would always never know hunger. Carly learned to keep the Sabbath and to cook and clean and do washing. "Married you'll be someday," Anna told Carly. And again the quilt became a wedding huppah, this time for Carly's wedding to Grandpa George. Men and women celebrated together, but they still did not dance together. In Carly's wedding bouquet were a gold coin, bread, and salt. Carly and George moved to a farm in Michigan, and great-grandma Anna came to live with them. The quilt once again wrapped a new little girl, Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen called Anna Lady Grandma. She had grown very old and was sick a lot of the time. The quilt kept her legs warm. On Anna's 98th birthday, the cake was a kulich, a rich cake with raisins and candied fruit in it. When Great-Grandma Anna died, prayers were said to lift her soul to heaven. My mother, Mary Ellen, was now grown up. When Mary Ellen left home, she took the quilt with her. When she became a bride, the quilt became her huppah. For the first time, friends who were not Jews came to the wedding. My mother wore a suit, but in her bouquet were gold, bread, and salt. The quilt welcomed me, Patricia, into the world. And it was the tablecloth for my very first birthday. At night, I would trace my fingers around the edges of each animal on the quilt before I went to sleep. I told my mother stories about the animals on the quilt. She told me whose sleeve had made the horse, whose apron had made the chicken, whose dress had made the flowers, and whose babushka went around the edge of the quilt. The quilt was a pretend cape when I was in the bullring, and sometimes a tent in the steaming Amazon jungle. At my wedding, men and women danced together. In my bouquet were gold, bread, and salt, and a sprinkle of wine, so I would always know laughter. Many years ago, I held Tracy Denise in the quilt for the first time. 3 years later, my mother held Stephen John in the quilt for the first time. We were all so proud of Tracy's new baby brother. Just like their mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother before them, they too used the quilt to celebrate birthdays and make superhero capes. Look at the shoes. As the years passed and Tracy and Stephen were growing up, their grandmother took pleasure at every family gathering to tell the story of the quilt. We all knew whose clothes made each flower and animal. My mother was lucky enough to show the wonder of this quilt to my brother's grandchildren, her great-grandchildren. When my mother died, prayers were said to lift her soul to heaven. Tracy and Stephen were now all grown up and getting ready to start their own lives. Now, as my children grow, this quilt has become part of their hearts. I decided to share the story with children everywhere, so I wrote a book to take with me to school visits for students to learn all about my family and traditions. In time, my son promised his life to his bride under this quilt. I gave them both bread so they would never know hunger, salt so their lives would have flavor, flowers so they would always know love, and finally, a coin so they would never be poor of spirit. When my daughter stood under this quilt to promise her heart to her partner, she too received bread, salt, flowers, and a coin. As the years passed, the Keeping Quilt became fragile. Without my knowing, my son and daughter took digital photos of the quilt and sent them to my sister-in-law and her quilting guild. The photos helped them make an exact pattern of the original. They even researched online to find the right fabrics to recreate the quilt. One heart from the original quilt was removed and added to the replica. They talked about their own families and traditions as they sewed. There's the heart. My children presented the new quilt to me as a complete surprise on my birthday. Then I made a very hard decision. With a bittersweet heart, I let the original Keeping Quilt leave my care to be on loan to the Maza Museum at the University of Findlay in Findlay, Ohio. It warms my heart to know that so many people will see the Keeping Quilt on display. Hopefully, it will stir the beauty of memory and the richness of family in their souls, and they will take these feelings away with them. They will create legacies of their own. Now I take the new quilt to visit schools. Many hopeful brides and grooms have stood under it on their wedding day. It has covered many a table for special banquets. Children have run around using it as a cape in the backyard. It has covered the coffins of those in our family whom we have loved and mourned. But best of all, this quilt has wrapped the most precious gifts of all, new lives. And that's the end of the Keeping Quilt. Backed. All right. Yes, overhead camera. Yes, that's the overhead camera. It was stuck in the frame. I had to do. Oh, thanks. Oh, good job. Yay, a Facebook group to go visit and keep track of. Although stationary, I still can't type. Yes, she very much Fiddler on the Roof type of aspect to her artwork type of thing. Of course, it's that same type of heritage, and so no worries. Yeah, computers in the clinic with the USB port issues in between patients. Next morning, same thing. Yeah, I have a master's in technology and for communities, and I really don't know that it's just that every once in a while there's just something's going on with these wires and things, and I've noticed that the iPad wasn't charging as well, so who knows, but at least I have the overhead cam. You just have to put up with that in the frame of my face all going through it. Anyway, this was the only book that I had for you guys tonight, because it's just that whole, her illustrations are just so rich, and the way she does it. Patricia Polacco has just, on the very end page, like here, let's go, back this, it's back in my face again, here. You can kind of see on that the colors here, but there. So just that little tiny bit of color on the end there, and in the actual book, it's not as black as it shows up. I think on your screen, it's a little more more brown in the book. But what's wonderful is if you go have, like in Patricia's website, or the screen share that I did. So this is Patricia Polacco, or if you go to her Facebook page, and she always wears her hair up like that, and it's just fun. You know, it fits so much with who she is and what she's done, and on her Facebook page and everything else. Let's see if I can go to. And is your Facebook page under Crunchberry's Playhouse? That's what I want to know. Let me see. On this. So if I go back here and show you this, there. So here is Patricia Polacco's Facebook page, and you see there's a picture of herself and her work. There's a new. Is this a new book she has out? The Palace of Books. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Bee Tree I read. Thank you, Mr. Falker. I read Thank You, Mr. Falker to you guys too. And the other one about the teacher, she's done those. She has really super long hair and she always wears it tied up. This is from Pink and Say. So you can see her different books. She's just a really fascinating artist to see. And you have a new, I'm going to go up here and see if we can do Crunchberry's Playhouse. Crunchberry's Playhouse. Is it this one? Join the group. There. I just joined. Yay! New page. Fun! You guys, fun. I love this. This is very cool. All right, so that's out of my face. So tonight was kind of a crazy of things, technical things. I think I'm going to have to unplug all of those, let them marinate, have them all ready, and be ready for tomorrow night, because tomorrow night's 250. So a book, we'll do some art, play around, have some good times, and send your stuff in so we can see what I can show on, and then I can just show your art when my technology for the book crashes, or I'll just grab another book, which I think I have a few, but I really didn't have a copy of the Keeping Quilt, and I really wanted to read that one for you because it's just a cool book. I love that aspect that she uses by taking just the quilt is the only thing colored through the whole thing, and how it was used as a hoopla for all the weddings and then wrapping up the children when they came home. It was a really wonderful story. Yeah. Saw a lot of it in the wonderful quilt, but my daughter kept dinging me. Could I read it again, please? He says. I'm just joshing. Oh man, Larry, I almost fell for it too, Gail. It's under Crunchberry's Playhouse. Larry added the link in the chat. I just joined on it too. Yes, share some work, everybody. I just also checked out a new book from the library, you guys. What did I get? This one. Oh, this. Hold it. Where is it? I know I have here. This. It's not one I'll read to you guys, but it is art for kids. It's called Express Yourself, and it is 52 creative adventures. And it has all different kinds of ideas to do. And so, okay, look at this. For just the very first thing, ink stick drawings, right hand, left hand, blind portraits, my favorite color, night creatures, stars in the sky, colliding contours, repeat yourself, map of my world, still life twisted. And that's for drawing. And then with painting, there's all these different ideas here. All these different kind of things, express your paper, mixed media. So I'm thinking I'm going to maybe give myself a bit of a challenge, because I got a new journal, watercolor journal, a little one, that, and I have another one that's a mixed media journal that I might give myself a daily challenge for doing some of these type of things. Ink stick drawings. What's that? Oh, okay. Here we go. Ink stick drawings. Get this out of my face. There, you don't have to see that in my face quite so much. Still there, but oh well. Then there. Okay, so this is ink stick drawings. This is an idea. Would be really fun to do. Materials. You need a wooden toothpick, a craft stick, or a skewer, India ink, and smooth paper. What kind of tools do you think people used in ancient times to draw with? What kinds of pictures do you think they drew? Did you know you can draw with a wooden stick? Let's draw your favorite animal or your pet with a stick and some ink. I have Sume ink. Dip your stick into the ink to wet the bottom third of the stick. Make a few practice strokes on your paper. To get used to the stick, don't press too hard, just let it flow. And then when you finish practicing, take a new sheet of paper and begin drawing your animal. Well, I'm not going to waste the paper. I have a practice sheet. Try using dots, thick and thin lines, and short lines, and finish the animal and decide what else you want to show in the animal. Someone drew a second one. Oh, very cool. Okay, this is going to be fun. That's going to be my challenge for my first day. All right, it's 52 ideas in this. Tomorrow is show 250. So I'm going to start with this one, the first one. And if you want to join me on it, do an ink drawing. Number 1, lab number 1, with a stick, a toothpick. I have those long cocktail sticks with the little frizzy fun things on them. And yeah, this ought to be fun. That's what we'll do. That's what I'll do. And it is kind of bright on that one. Why is it so bright? There you go. Ah. I think. Anyway, you guys, that's it for tonight. So, been a bit crazy. Batteries are low on everything. Not quite sure why. Had some crazy internet today. Think it's got me a little wackadoo, but that's okay. You guys were here. We had a story, the Keeping Quilt, all those memories that she had. We create them ourselves every day. You've been here for so many times. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. For those of you who are here and in the chat, Linda and Larry and Gail and Angie, and who else is? Helen is here. Let's see. Anybody I missed tonight? I know Helen, Larry, Angie, and Lupe, if you're here, thanks for being here. Jeffrey, if you were listening, able to sign in and or get in and listen, and I know you might be here. Thanks for checking in. Tomorrow night, 250, you guys. Woohoo! Send your art. Let's celebrate. I'm going to do an ink drawing, and except I'm going to take off my good yellow sweater because for sure I wear something nice. I will get ink on it. All right. All right, you guys, everybody. Until next time, take care. And I can always tell you, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around. It's in each and every one of your mirrors. And then go share that beauty with somebody else. And I'll see you soon.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feel alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try, not amateur, typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow.
Yay! I love that. Normal is a setting on my dryer. That's perfect. I love that. I want that in a t-shirt. Take my foot off the power strip button. Maybe so. Maybe Aldo's laying on it.